7.1 probability distribution. So when I see what is the probability distribution, um, we have a random variable x, discrete variable, continuous variable. Let's see what does the discrete and continuous look like. We want to classify this examples as a random or variable is discrete or continuous. A number of phone calls made by salesperson. So the number of phone calls is going to be 1, 2, 3, right? It's an integer. So this would be discrete. The length of time the salesperson spent on the telephone. The time could be in a minute, an hour, in seconds. So it's very continuous. It's going to be 1.2 hours, 0.3 hours. It's going to be continuous. The compressed annual sales. Annual sales would be discrete. Maybe you are just rounding that to the whole dollars. The number of the widgets sold by the company. So the number of the selling gonna be a whole number. Distance from Earth to the Sun. Since this is like elliptical, so this is the Sun, and this is the path of the Earth. It's an elliptical. At different point, the distance will vary, and that would be then continuous. Now looking at this example, determine the probability distribution for order of groups. Presentation simulated in the investigation on page that. So here that was a previous example. Position 1 was the probability of that to be chosen 1/5, the same for position 2, 3, and 4, 5. That are the probability. And when you want to do that, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, this is going to be your random variable, and the height will be the probability of that random variable. Probability in a discrete uniform. If this is a uniform like above example, if you add all of the probability, it would be add up to 1, right? This is the uniform probability. So probability if it is uniform, the P is going to be 1/n. N is the possible outcome. And since they are the same, it's going to be 1/n. Expectation or expected value EX is X1, PX1. X1 is the random variable, multiply the probability of that. X2 is the second random variable and the probability of that, and so on. You're adding up all of that. You can write it as a summation of xi multiplied by pi. I is from 1 to n. Okay, look at this dice game. Consider a simple game in which you roll a single die. If you roll an even number, you gain number, and if you roll an odd, you will lose. Show the probability distribution. Okay, you know the probability of every number on the die are gonna be 1/6. All sides are has the same chance to be landed. So random variable, if you have 1, because it's odd, you lose a number. It's gonna be -1. So this is gonna be your random variables. If you land on 2, you gain, you win 2 points. If you do 3 because it's odd, you lose 3 points. So this is even, so you gain that. Is odd, you lose that point. Is even, again, you gain that. You win that number. So that would be a random variable. To find, to do the probability distributions, this is that. Expected value. Expected value is the random variable multiplied probability of that and add them together. See here is -1 multiplied by 1/6 plus 2 multiplied by 1/6 plus -3 multiplied by 1/6 plus 4 multiplied by 1/6 plus -1 multiplied by 1/6 plus 6 multiplied by 1/6. So half them you do it, it's going to be 0.5. If the expected is 0 is fair, but if the expected is not 0, that the game is not fair. So So here is another. A summer camp. You have 10 5-meter candles. So you have 10 of those. You have 4 of 5.2-meter candle, and you have 4 of this. If you do that total, you'll do, and you have 7 here, 7 of 4. If you have 7, 10, 4, 4, you get 25. So it means the chance that you choose this one is going to be 7 over 25. Chance you choose this one is 10 over 25, 4 over 25, and 4 over 20. This is your probability. Your random variable is the size of your candle. You list that there. You can do that on a probability. In x-axis, you can put the length, and on y-axis, you can put the probability, and for each of those candles, you can draw this. Expected is the random variable multiplied by the probability and add them together. As you hear, is 5.1 is expected length of the candle. You can do the even questions for your homework.